All right. So, haven't done a video in a while. Wanted to do one quickly based on this Facebook thing that I got, and I took some flack from it from some friends, but whatever. So I got this Facebook video. It's a PowerPoint, and basically talks about it's a story I've heard before, but it's regurgitated. And there's a professor, USC, philosophy professor, yells at everyone. I'm paraphrasing it. As an atheist for 20 years, he's got so much great logic, and there's a lot of Christians in the group, but they're afraid to speak to the professor because of the fact that he destroys them with the logic. And it's funny in the video how like the Christians, it's a Christian video, obviously, if you haven't figured that out, are afraid of logic. They're like, this guy's got such great logic, so that's a threat to our religion. But anyway, so at the end of each semester, supposedly, but this whole story to me is a lie, which I don't think Christians are supposed to do. I don't think there was an actual philosophy professor at USC who did this. So anyway, let me continue the story. So at the end of the semester, the professor would say, anybody who believes in God, stand up, and no one would stand up because they're afraid that he would yell at them and call them fools. And he'd say, well, if you're not willing to stand up, I'm going to I'll prove to you there is no God. And he takes a piece of chalk and he says, if there is a God, do not allow this chalk to break. And he drops it on the floor and it breaks into 100 pieces. And apparently that's the philosophy's way. The philosopher, this philosophy professor of philosophy, who that's his logic, that God can't stop the chalk from breaking. So the story goes on to say there's this Christian freshman and he's taking the class and he's all scared, and every day he prays to God to allow him the strength to stand up and face this teacher. So the last day of school comes and he stands up and the professor says, anybody who believes in God, please stand. And this person stands up and he goes, you fool, if God, blah, 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 you stop this chalk from breaking. And when he goes to drop the chalk, and the chalk hits his leg and it rolls down the cuff of his pants and off his shoe and lands on the ground, and it doesn't break. And the professor runs out of the room, by the way, is so daunted by this amazing feat that he runs out of the room. And then the student goes and talks about Jesus Christ to 300 other students in the lecture hall, during that time. All right. So if you already think this is crap, look on it on Facebook. I got it on Facebook, and it was sent to me. So of course I commented on this. A couple of things about that. First of all, obviously a professor would. First of all, it's a lie, and I don't think Christians are supposed to lie. Secondly. I said in the comments, a philosophy professor would not run out of the room, and then and none of the kids would sit there and listen to some kid talk about Jesus Christ for 30 minutes after class because chalk didn't rolled off the leg. I really think this is done, and people have never gone to college. Like they think they just make up a lie and then think that people actually believe it. Unfortunately, there are people who do believe it, because in the comments people are like, oh, this is why I believe and this and that. It's ridiculous. So I wrote in there, why don't they just take what the professor? If the philosophy professor was smart, all they do is pick up the chalk and say, "Oh wow, that was weird. I hit my leg. All right, God, since you're so powerful, stop it again," and then throw it on the ground as hard as he could, or whatever. Or God, let God keep this in the air and let it float, and then toss it in the air and see what happens. Okay, so the point being is it's just so stupid. So anyway, so I got on there and I said that. So it brought me up to a comment that was brought up by George Carlin. And George Carlin talks about, I don't take credit for this, I heard it from him, but I want to reiterate it because not many people have heard of George Carlin. Well, there are a lot of people who have heard of him, but as the younger generation comes around, they don't know about him. And George Carlin said prayer is just ridiculous. It's stupid, okay? Because you pray for things. Right? I'm not talking about prayer when you're sitting there going, gratitude. I'm talking about when you ask for stuff. I want my sick grandmother to get healthy, or I want this to happen, or I want to win the lottery, or I want to, whatever. So you pray to God, okay? Two football teams pray to God, and then one team wins, and those people go, thank God for this. So I guess God made the other team lose. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to think that God cares about a football team. He shouldn't. But anyway, so you pray for something, and sometimes you get it, and sometimes you don't. 50-50, all right? So people get what they want, they give praise to God. And then if they don't get what they want, then they say, well, thy will be done, or that's the way, God had a better plan. Well, here's the point. If God has a divine plan, and it's a plan, and he's laid it out through the beginning of time, okay, and here's the plan, and here's how the plan's going to go. Well, if you pray for something and it's not in the plan, then you're not going to get it. You can't have God changing the plan every time, if the plan was the grandmother dies, then that's the plan, okay? And I don't think anybody has been praying enough to keep someone alive forever. So the point is that eventually the people are going to die, and you hit the lottery or it won't, or all that stuff happens, or it doesn't happen. So people believe that's part of the divine plan. Well, if there's a plan, and God's going to do whatever he wants anyway, then why bother freaking praying? Okay? Just go with the plan. Just say that, well, here's the plan, and I'll just go with the plan. Why pray and ask for things that if you're not going to get them if they're not in the plan anyway? If they are in the plan, then you'll get them anyway. You don't have to pray for them. So it just doesn't make doesn't make sense. So, and thank you for George for pointing that out. So praying is absolutely irrelevant. Okay, praying for this, praying for that is totally irrelevant if you believe that God has a plan. He has a plan for you, or a plan for everything, because there's a plan and that's it. So you praying, if it's in the plan, you get it. If it's not in the plan, you don't get it. And since you don't know the plan, there's no point in praying for stuff. Okay, so that's that. So anyway, so in the comment section, somebody wrote about, my kid was drowning, fell in a pool and drowned, and he was dead for 26 seconds, and I prayed, and he came back to life, and I took medication, and overdosed accidentally on medication, and my family prayed for me and brought me back to life, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, I had all these sad stories, right? See, first of all, didn't God let your kid fall in the pool in the first place? Okay? See, these people, they think God saves them, but God allowed the thing to happen in the first place, right? That would be like me going and burning down a house and lighting the house on fire, and then walking outside, watching the house burn, and then go, oh my God, I left my son in there. So I run into that burning house and save my son. and people, and then calling myself a hero, and people going, you're a hero, you saved your son. No, I started the fire in the first place, so why am I a hero? And why do we give God praise? God let the kid fall in the pool. God let you mess up your medication. God did all that. It allowed that stuff to happen. So why would God, if God was going to save your kid, then why not just not let him fall in the pool, okay? Why do you give him credit for saving the kid, but you don't give him blame for letting the kid trip and fall in the pool? God wanted your kid to live, he would have just kept him out of the pool in the first place. So the response I got to this from some people was, well, there's the devil. The devil allows that stuff to happen. There's Lucifer, and he does things. And by the way, the devil, I mean, honestly, really? So you believe there is a all-powerful being, okay? All-powerful being who sees everything, knows everything, watches you all the time, knows what you think, has unlimited powers, created the entire universe, all right? And everything in it, okay? All the laws of creation, and it has all this infinite power, but there's a lesser, not so strong godlike thing who messes with him, okay? Who like throws babies in pools and tempts you with lust and all that kind of stuff. And this all-powerful thing can't get rid of that thing, okay? Like he refuses to get rid of it, okay? He can't do it, all right? So God couldn't stop the devil from pushing the baby in the pool, but can save it, like, because he wasn't paying attention for 26 seconds and was like, oh my God, I gotta save this baby. Somebody's praying to me. Now I know what's going on. I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy dealing with Alpha Centauri and the people who live a billion miles away on another solar system in a different planet. But now I got to pay attention to this child. I mean, really, is this what these people believe? I mean, do they really think about this stuff? I mean, why? I don't get it. I don't understand how people believe these things really happen, okay? And why do people pray? Because, I mean, if a plane was going down, I would probably pray. I'd probably ask for help, because as social beings, we say we need help with something. We understand that if I can't do it, if I get other people together, we can do it. And if there's nobody that I know can help me, if I'm on a plane and it's going down, I'm probably going to sit there and go, oh my God, please help me, okay? Because I'm in an agitated state. I'm in a state where I want help. I know there's no God coming in, and God is not going to come and scoop up the plane and put it back, and do that. But I'm still going to pray. I'm still going to do that because I'm a human being. I'm scared. I'm in that state. Okay. We're going to ask for help. Okay. To whoever, even if it's an imaginary figure. Okay. We'll ask for help. If Santa would help me, I'll ask for Santa. All right. If I lived in the Middle East, I wouldn't say God. I'd say Allah or whatever. If it was 100 years ago, I'd say, oh my God, Zeus, please help me. Or 2,000 years ago or whatever. So, point being, this doesn't make God exist. Prayer is stupid and it's not even necessary. Just go by, if you believe in God and you believe in a divine plan, you should never pray ever again. You should just let God's will be done. That's it. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, so I have to do a video.